Hello. Today I'm going to cover how to label classroom assignments. I was a teacher for 44 years, and in this time of teaching, I had to find easy ways for me to label grade papers as quickly as possible so that I could return them to the students and they could find out, where they're standing. But having 7, 8 classes a day in different days, block scheduling A and B. For example, on Mondays we would get the A students, on Tuesdays the B students, and so on. I had to figure out a way to make it easy for me to grade the papers. Excuse me. So one of the best methods for me, techniques, ways of doing it, was that I taught my students, for example, here's a paper, regular writing paper. First of all, I taught the students the parts of the paper, but in this case, we're just going to concentrate on labeling. So, for example, on the very top, I would have my students label A or B day. Now, if you are consistent as a teacher, it'll take you about maybe 2-3 weeks where the students will get used to it, and after that I would assign different students to be monitors, as just go down the road checking to see that everybody got the information in there, because my classes average from 32 to 35 kids a class, and again there were 7-8 classes depending on the day. And so I would have the kids, and they love doing this, I would have the kids going and checking, and every week I would change, or every two a week I would change the responsibilities, and I would give them a credit for being responsible. So they would go around and check and see that everything was followed before the papers were turned in. So over here I would have the students write their name neatly and clearly. Okay. Now what I did in my computer programs, we had only the first and last name. So I would have the students write their first name, okay, and then the last name. Now, you can change that here if you can have the last name first and the first name. But in my case, I went ahead and set the program with the last name. But I found out that it was not as bad. But you can change that around. But I had the first name and last name. Then I had the date. Now this date represents the date the assignment is given. So if the student is present, he'll use that date, the date of when the assignment is issued to them. Now if the student is absent, then the student would come back in here and write the date of the assignment, okay, that was given, and then the day he was present when the date of the assignment was given to him, when the information and all that was given to him. So that's another way that I kept track of their absences. So let's say the student came in on May the 5th, 2021, and he would write that date there. But then now the student was absent the day it was issued, and they came in on the following day, then they would write May the 5th, 21 / May 6th, 21. This way I would know that the student was present, or if the student was absent. Okay, so now that's a thing for you to think about, because you want to make it easy. The date it was issued, and also when they come back. If they were absent the following day or 2-3 days later, they will write the date they started on it. Then we will have the subject. Okay, because sometimes in my case I will have different subjects. I say this class because I teach Spanish, I teach art, and I teach history. I will have the students write up here the art, the Spanish, or the history class, and then they would write it up here, and then they would write the period. Now remember, it can be A day or B day, period 7, period 8, whatever. This way, when I would check the papers, I would know what the subject is and what period and one day, because remember, over here they would only write A or B. Okay? Then, since I told you a while ago that my average class sizes with 32 to 35 kids, I would give them a number. So I will go by the alphabet. So if you are a student, let's say B, your number would be 2. If I had 2 B students, well, the next one would be number 3, and so on, depending on the alphabetical order. It doesn't obligate you to sit them in alphabetical order, but it does make it easy for you to keep track of the class assignments. So what happens is you have 32 kids. They may be mixed, okay, or they may be in alphabetical order. So if I have student 2, then I would get number 1. For example, I'd look through the papers very quickly and see the number of the student, number 1, and this would be number 2. And very quickly you can set them in order, because when you go and record the grades, you will have them in order according to the list, the roster that was given to you in the computer. So this would be the class number, following the alphabet. Now it looks like it's a lot for you or for the students, but once you have them disciplined to the process, and they like it because they look for it, and also they would keep a folder with all this work. So at the end of the 6 weeks period, we would check and see with the assignments, set them up by dates, and also subject matters and so on, so that we could keep track. The next thing that I would have my students do is I would have them write the title. What happens if you have a student leave the class, and move or change schedule or so on? Now your numbers have changed. Well, what I would do is that for that 6 weeks, I would keep the same numbers to that the students were given it originally. But I do warn them and I tell them that the numbers are not permanent. They will change based on the scheduling. So at the end of the 6 weeks, we will start again with new numbers if there was a need for them. So the kids started out the school year with number 2, let's say, and there's no one that drops or changes schedule from the beginning of the roster to his number. Well, his number will not change. But if someone changes, well, at the end of the 6 weeks and the beginning of the new 6 weeks, the new session, you will issue new numbers. Okay, so that's another way to keep up with the schedule changes and so on, because there will be a lot of changes. You will have students changing subject matter or classes or moving or whatever the case is. So you just update it every 6 weeks, and that will also help you in keeping up for that 6 weeks. Okay, so the next thing that I will have the students do is write the title. But I just want to take a little time again. It's very important and we need your help. I need your help. Please subscribe, like, and comment. All again you have to do is just push the buttons on your cell phone, if you're on the cell phone, or on your computer, laptop, and either like or dislike. You can share it. You can subscribe. And I found out this weekend that if you click on that little symbol there of the L, it will take you to my channel. I have other films, not films anymore. that goes to show you how old I am, videos on different art subjects that I have done. So please subscribe, like, comment, and share them, please. Thank you very much. So now here, the next thing that I will do after we label our papers and everything, and I give them the title of the work, and they're going to write their title of the assignment. So let's say they were covering in art color theory, so they would write color theory up here, and then they would write their assignment over here. I will later have another film about all these lines on our paper. I have found out that even the high school kids, a lot of them, and it's hard to believe it, but they don't know why the lines are there, the red lines and the red line in the back. Okay, so the student will write the title so that he can identify what the assignment was at that time that it was given. So just to summarize, we have here, if you have block scheduling, like in my case, I had A day on Monday, B day on Tuesday, and we had about 5 classes per day. In my case, I had 32 to 35 kids a class. And then we would write our name, first and last name, the date the assignment was given. If the student was absent, he comes in, let's say a day or 2 later, they'll write the date of the assignment when it was given, but the date that he comes in. This way, as a teacher, I know, oh, this person was not here on this day that the assignment was given. And that also protects you in finding out when and how the student or why the student was absent or whatever the case is, okay, to help the student out make up the work. Then you have your subject and the period. In this case, like I said, A and B days. I would have up to 4 or 5 periods. So in one day I would go from 1 to 5, for example, and on the other one I would go from 6 to 11 or 12 classes, depending on the scheduling. And then the class number by alphabetical order. It doesn't mean that the students have to be in alphabetical order, sitting in alphabetical order, but you will have the papers in alphabetical order. You collect them, and the way that I would do it is that when I would pass out the papers, I would set them up so that the kids can collect them themselves, but I write the grade at the bottom. Here at the bottom, I write the grade here at the bottom. So when I write the grade here, and on A day, I get the assignment on A day, okay? I get the assignment on A day. I grade the papers at the end of the day. The following day, B day comes in, and then on Wednesday, this is A, let's say for example, A on Monday, B on Tuesday. Well, on Wednesday, I'll have the papers graded. They have their grade at the bottom so they can see what they did and they can correct their paper. And if they wanted to, they could also update it and grade it, and I could bring up their grade a little higher. So now I have the papers ready on Wednesday, A day. I'm going to pass them out. So I line them up. They're in order, remember, by class number. And I pass them out in this manner here. Okay. So now the kids come in and they see their name. They can see their number in the alphabetical order. And at the bottom out here, I cover a paper, the last paper. I cover the last paper. And this way no one sees whatever's going on or the grade. But now let's say the student moves. Well, now what you have is that the numbers will skip. So let's say class number 2, student number 2 was gone. He moved to another city or he went to another school, whatever. Well, now you're going to go from 1 to 3 and so on. But this will make it easier for you. But you as a teacher, you will find out maybe other ways that will help you. But this helped me a lot so that I could get the papers graded quickly and return them to the students. So there's another situation too that I will go over later, where I will explain again the design of the paper and why I have it like this. Okay, so I hope this has been of help, and I ask again that you help by subscribing, liking, comments, or you have any, and sharing. If you have anything that can help me to illustrate and help and teach, I'm more than willing to hear from you. I would appreciate it. Thank you. So I hope this was of help. Okay? Have a good day.